What's going on, true believers? Believers, we got three things working against us right now. We've got Evergrande, who's about to default on bills yet again. We've got Elon Musk selling off 10% of his Tesla stock, and we've got inflation spiraling out of control in the United States. But the crypto market is still trading around $3 trillion. So, let's see what's happening. It's not financial advice, but I'm always right.
I can't wait till Friday. Everybody's getting sideways.
All right, guys, CoinGecko has us trading at $2.991 trillion. That's off of a 24-hour volume of 215, but that was a lot of stabilizing money. Tether went from 71 billion up to 75 billion. It's settling right now at about 74.8. So there was a lot of money being moved into Tether yesterday because people were having a panic. I moved to Tether for a little while yesterday because I was like, oh, God, here we go again. Everything stabilized, and I went back in deep. But Bitcoin dominance is down to 41%, Ethereum 18.7. Those are standard numbers, which means that nothing special is happening. Well, what we're looking for right now is we're looking for that Bitcoin dominance to get up in the 45 to 47 range so that then we could start to see that big sending from Bitcoin again. That dominance level has to go up. Ethereum has to eat it a little bit so that Bitcoin can send. And then once that sends, then everything else will start to follow suit along with it. In the meantime, as you can see, almost everything in the market is trending downward. Shiba, of course, because Bitcoin's down, Shiba's starting to move up just a little bit. It's up 9% in the last hour. But the big player of the day, Kadena, was up 31.3%. But for those of you who've been with me for any length of time, you know the one that I'm talking about, Mina Protocol. Mina Protocol is up 41.5% on the day. If you were one of the people that got into it when I said, you know what you should do? You should get into it, then you're real happy today. If you put in enough money, otherwise, But everything's looking okay, despite Evergrande default, despite what's going on in the marketplace. But let's move on and let's talk about it. All right, guys, here we go. The world's most indebted property developer, China's Evergrande Group, averted a destabilizing default at the last minute for the third time in the past month, with a source on Thursday saying several bondholders had received overdue coupon payments. The cash-strapped developer has been stumbling from deadline to deadline in recent weeks as it grapples with more than $300 billion in liabilities, $19 billion of which are international market bonds. Chinese media outlet Caliente reported several bondholders had received interest payments of the three bond tranches that had a total of more than $148 million due last month. The payments were made at the end of the 30-day grace period that ended Wednesday, as was the case with the two separate offshore coupon payments that were due in late September, for which the grace periods ended late last month. A failure to pay would have resulted in a formal default by the company and triggered cross-default provisions for other Evergrande dollar bonds, exacerbating a debt crisis looming over the world's second largest economy that has rattled global markets. The near-term fix seems to be happening, but there's a long way to go before this issue gets sorted out. These are early days. So, disaster has been averted, but as we probably move down here, we're going to find out. Here we go. Kaisa has the most offshore debt of any Chinese developer after Evergrande, and it has coupon payments totaling over $59 million due on Thursday and Friday. So we're not over. Everything is still happening, so we're going to see how it plays out over the next little while. But it looks like at this point that this thing is destined to fold, and it's just a matter of time right now. So you better get your bag packed because we don't have much longer before this crazy shit starts coming down. Moving on. All right, guys, Elon Musk sold 10% of his Tesla stock, and here's the deal. A few months back, this was already, by the way, in the planning stages because $1.1 billion of his stock, 930,000 shares, were already scheduled 3 months ago or 2 months ago to be sold around this time in order to avoid a 50% tax, I believe it was. We're going to check it out right here, and we're going to get the answer to it. Tesla CEO Elon Musk sold nearly $5 billion in Tesla stock. That dropped the price about 15%. Before it rallied just a little bit. But early Wednesday evening, filing showed Musk is selling a separate block of Tesla shares via a plan that was set in motion on September 14 of this year. Those sales amount to more than 930,000 shares worth over $1.1 billion. Musk sold these shares in part to satisfy tax obligations related to an exercise of stock options. There is a video of him in the code conference telling the world that this is what he was going to do several months ago in order to meet these obligations. Before that sale plan was made public, Musk asked his 62.5 million Twitter followers to vote in an informal poll, telling them their vote would determine the future of his Tesla holding. The filing revealed that, in fact, he knew some of his shares were slated for sale this week. So when he was saying he was proposing selling 10%, he was already selling 2.5%. He was already going to sell. It was just a matter of whether he would do the full 10% or not. Citadel CEO Ken Griffin, speaking at the Deal Online Summit on Wednesday, said he personally did not want to see Musk sell. Individuals like Elon Musk, like Jeff Bezos, have transformed life, and we want to keep them in control of their companies as long as they've got the energy and the ambition to keep moving the business forward. Previously, Musk signaled that he was likely to sell a huge block of his options in the fourth quarter at an appearance at the Code Conference in September. Musk said that when his stock options expire at Tesla, and this is from like 10 years ago, his marginal tax rate would be over 50%. Current and former board members, including Chairwoman Robin Denholm, Elon Musk's brother Kimball, Ira Ehrhan-Priest, and Antonio Gracias, have offloaded hundreds of millions of dollars worth of Tesla shares since October 28, after Tesla's market cap surpassed $1 trillion. Among those insider sales, Kimball Musk was the only transaction that was not listed as a 10b5 or planned sale. Kimball sold around $109 million worth of his shares a day ahead of his brother's Twitter poll. So this was something that was in the works for a long time, and it really just looks like a bunch of board members were taking their profits at $1 trillion. That's all this appears to be. The concern, obviously, is that Elon Musk, at some point, if there's somebody out there, could start to snap up shares, and he could lose control of his own company. And that's what you don't want to see, especially with a transcendent sort of person like Elon Musk. But we'll see what we'll see. Moving on. All right, guys, inflation. If you are paying attention to this, then you better be worried about it, because all of the gains that we made in the last 4 years, and you can like whoever was in charge or not, but the situation in America for the workers did improve financially in the last 4 years. Now, if you're on one side and you're talking about the budget being blown out of proportion, then you're right. The budget that was already blown out of proportion by the president before him continue to do the same thing, with the idea that all of this stuff would eventually lead to a higher tax recovery, and that we would stop seeing the inflation go the way that it's going. Then the pandemic hit, and here we are with inflation spiking out of control. We've got boats in harbors that are unable to deliver. We've got people who are holding on. By the way, it's not that we can't offload these things. That there's these people that have these goods and services, the goods that are on the boat, they don't want to sell them because they don't have any other supply. We are running out of essentials. And that being the case, something has to be done. And what is done is the price goes up. What looks like a big jump in workers' wages during October turned into just another gut punch after accounting for inflation. The Labor Department reported Friday that average hourly earnings increased 0.4% in October, about in line with estimates, which was good news. However, the department reported Wednesday that top-line inflation for the month increased 0.9%, far more than what had been expected. That was the bad news, very bad news, in fact. That's because it meant that all told, real average hourly earnings, when accounting for inflation, actually decreased 0.5% for the month. So an apparent solid paycheck actually increase turned into a decrease, and another setback for workers still struggling to shake off the effects of the COVID pandemic. Folks, everything that you are seeing right now is weighing on the world. And the only way, in fairness, the only way for this to work itself out, cryptocurrency. And let me just, because here we are, if you want to buy something from China, then you have to ship something from China, which is a cost. Everywhere that you go, there is an additional cost. And not only is there a cost for the transfer of the goods and services, there is also a fee by every hand that dips into this in between. Now, wouldn't it be nicer if there was a system by which all of those hands didn't have to touch anything, and it just went from point A to point B, and point B delivered back to point A, and then done? Maybe that's what cryptocurrency represents to people. Maybe that's why we're all in this market, and that's why we're all trying to get this done. Maybe there's something going on, and we can see it across the world, and we can't do anything about it because these people who are in charge, they're not doing anything about it because they don't see the problem. They don't understand the problem. They don't understand the real world concerns that everybody seems to have. I go shopping. When I go shopping, there are spots right now. We were out of Gatorade the other day. Gatorade, because the supply shipment was low. I went to the cereal aisle. There was some cereals that were missing. Now, I don't eat cereal, but it's not really the point. It's got oatmeal there. We had plenty of oatmeal, but there were cereal boxes, just entire rows of cereal boxes that are just missing right now. My son, full disclosure, works for a farm in my area in Crete, Illinois, and they are supplying, but he has trouble having a full staff of workers every day because people are just not showing up or it's not worth it. There's a lot of things going on. So I'm here to tell you that things are not getting better, and it's going to take a while before things start to get better. Cryptocurrency is your future. Cryptocurrency beats inflation. If I go back here and I look, and you can like this or you can not like this, but if you had just spread your money across the cryptocurrency market, accounting for wins, losses, accounting for whatever you want to account for, if you had just stuck your money and did a reasonable thing where you put 50% into Bitcoin, you put 25% into Ethereum, then you just took a bunch of risk with everything else. Generally speaking, the market was at 2.7. The market cap is now 3, which means that you would have made over a 10% profit. So you earn more money in crypto than you do by not being in crypto. Like if you're not doing this and you're not part of the solution, then you're out of your mind, okay? This is very simple. It's very basic economics here. There is a certain risk in this market. There's absolutely a certain risk in this market. There's been a risk since 2009, since it all started, and we are 12 years into it. The risk still exists. But guess what? We are 12 years into that risk. And if you're not seeing it, you're an idiot. Now, guys, there are a lot of things that are working against every market everywhere, but this continues to go up. Guys, when I started this, we were at $2.4 trillion. If you had just listened to me and put, again, whatever you had into the crypto market, you would have lost half. You would have lost half because at 2.4 trillion, the market tanked all the way down to 1.2. You would have lost half. As of today, however, you would be up 25% on every single one of your holdings. If you had not freaked out and you had just held firm and you had just let that dip ride, then you would be up 25% on everything that you had. If you had given $1 million, you would have $1.25 million. If you had given $10,000, you'd have $1,250. It's very simple. It's math. That's the way that this works. It's crypto. If you're not in it, I don't know what's wrong with you. Cryptocurrency is going to be the salvation of this global crisis that we're experiencing. And if you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. And I can't fix you. But everybody who's with me and everybody who's part of this, love you guys. Moving on. All right, guys, HokkFi is back, trading at 2.7 cents. There's a big spike here. This is relaunch, so you're going to see a lot of changes that are happening in this. Rapidly, you're going to see a lot of things different in the next couple of days, but the launch is underway, and here we are back again. The diluted market cap is sitting at $232.9 million. The daily volume is 2.586 million. Moving on. All right, Sanshu, you guys are at 57.85. That's down 20%, guys. I don't know what to tell you about this. The support... This is a difficult moment right now. The market did what it did, which kind of changes everything and puts the money back into the to Bitcoin and Ethereum. So we're going to catch a lift off of the Ethereum wrap situation, but generally speaking, it's going to be just a little bit of time before we start to see the real big bump that we're all expecting to see from Sanshu. I'm still expecting it to get way, way, way up there. I still have my smiley face. I'm just going to be moving it down a little bit, but it's coming. Moving on. All right, Floki Vikings, 22,947. That's down 15%. Feeling it just like everybody else. One of the things about this, you guys are probably going to get a nice little up in the next little while, just because you're now part of the altcoin market. And even if you don't see it, like on some of the trending and tracking, your market cap puts you way up there right now. So it's all going to happen. We're going to start getting back to these big numbers, these 33,000s. They're coming. They're just literally around the corner. It's just going to take a little bit of time to get there. The market correction happened. Everything going on is going on, but you guys will be back to the top in very short order because the Floki Vikings don't quit. And Tyson Fury, what the I forget what that word is. Moving on. Saitama Wolfpack, you're back up, 9,005. That's up 7.5% to the previous day. Overnight, there was just a giant cascade of buys that came through, and then it looks like America woke up, and here we go with a whole bunch of, well, I don't want to be rich. I just want to have a few dollars because that makes me feel gooder, or whatever it is that these idiots say. I don't know what to tell you. There's nothing wrong with taking profit, so take your profit. And as Fleetwood Mac said, go your own way. Moving on. And just like that, Kishu is back up 16% to 56.53. There was a cascade of sell yesterday, obviously with the Evergrande situation, obviously with the Elon Musk situation, obviously with the inflation report. But here we go. Kishu is back to getting into that channel of support. This is a very long and extended period here. We're probably going to have to make new sticks, but those sticks are going to be pointing down. So I'm going to hope that at this moment we can get back into this channel of support and we can forget about this little move right here and get back up here to this big upside, because that big upside is growing and growing and growing. And when it happens, you're talking about a tripling. So let's see what happens. Moving on. All right, StarLink troopers, still broken out of support a little bit. To be expected when you have such a situation like we had yesterday, but that opportunity right there was just tremendous to buy back in and play a dip right there. Still outside the support line, but it moved right back up into it. I think that we're still on track. Within a couple days, we're going to start to see this thing break right here. We're going to get back into this little spot, and then all of a sudden, things are going to start moving back to the upside. I hope that comes with a new... It would be for the best if it came with some kind of new update on the beta test or anything in the way of good news that makes all the difference. But 3,800 down 4.9% on the day, but the volume is still at 5.9 million, which is pretty high, and the market cap's at $380 million. So go StarLink. Moving on. All right, big bosses, you guys are down 10% on the day to 27.29. That little spike yesterday down here. You know what? Evergrande, all of these different things. I just don't know what to say about some of them anymore. But it's all coming back. The market's already correcting itself. You're starting to see that up again. Evergrande made its payment. Elon Musk sold his stock. Inflation's through the roof. We're going to experience a little bit of up, a little bit of down. Hopefully right now, this looks like you're trending back on the up, and you are not that far away from getting another strong buy sentiment out of the Fibonacci, which would make this, which would probably make this go on its own. People will be watching that. They're watching the charts. They're waiting for those moments to buy back in. And as soon as they get a buy sentiment, you're going to start to see a cascade of money coming back up. So good luck. Moving on. All right, guys, I don't want to get off on a rant here, but the future is crypto. And if you don't see it, you're not looking. Everything that's happening right now, and I've gone through this, and if you didn't see it, by the way, go back to the part where I'm talking about the inflation numbers, and I'm telling you, if you had put in just $100,000 during the time that I started doing videos, the market was trading at $2.4 trillion. It dropped down to 1.2. You would have lost half if you had pulled out. But if you had stuck with me and stayed with me and been faithful for the entire time, then today you're at $3 trillion. And that is a $600 billion increase, which represents, off of 2.4, that represents a 25% increase, which means that you would have $125,000. So you made $25,000 off of your $100,000. You wouldn't make that in the stock market because it doesn't happen that way. It happens with a rare stock here, a rare stock there, but it doesn't happen to an overall market. This market is still exploding, and you have to be part of it. And if you're not part of it, you're going to get left behind. The more that you miss out on, and this market, by the way, is just like a crypto. It has its ups, it has its downs. And if you spread your money around, then you're going to be always up. It's just going to be always up because that's the way that this works. You're going to experience a bear market in a couple of months. When that happens, everything's going to start to go back down. You're going to take your money out just like everybody else. And then we're going to resettle ourselves in on these products, and we're going to be better for it. And then those products are going to take off, and then here we go again. The bull market will start once more. And once it starts, then there we go, all over again. We might even be getting to a point where bear markets are slower to happen and quicker to come out of because everybody wants to make money. This is the market where you make the money, so it may not even last that long. So this is where we are. Guys, you got to be part of it. If you're not part of it, then you're going to miss out. And if you're not taking it serious that this inflation is out of control and that you need to make more money to combat inflation, and you're not putting it in crypto, you don't know what you're doing, and you need to talk to a financial advisor. I am not a financial advisor. I'm just a person who's always right. Talk to a financial advisor. If they tell you, oh, you don't want to do that, that's risky, the crypto market, then they don't know shit. They don't know shit. Your next question after that would be, can I talk to somebody who knows about crypto then? And if you can't do that, and this guy is still telling you that, then here's what you should do. Then explain to me, sir, how it was at $2.4 trillion 9 months ago, and this month it's at $3 trillion, and that's a 25% increase. The stock market has been stagnant during that period of time with barely a 5% increase, and why are you telling me to do this? Do you not see what's happening? Now, if I go back to the beginning of the market, then it was at just a year ago, is at $1.6 trillion. You would have doubled your money, almost. You would have almost doubled your money if you had just stuck in the market and you just stayed into the market. So explain to me, financial advisor, how you're not seeing what everybody else appears to be seeing. Then go find a financial advisor who's not a idiot. That's my time. You guys have a good day. And yes, I did drop the bomb. We'll see you tomorrow.
I'm looking for the good life, sitting on top of the world. I wanna be shining like diamonds and pearls. I want you to go.